Hi, this is Brian Haney with Current Management Issues. This week's discussion topic is over race and religious diversity issues within the workplace. Now, I found three really good articles on this, and they're three relatively decent-sized articles, but a lot of them are he said, she said, hearsay kind of things about what went on in the court. So I thought I'd just divide it up between the three of them instead of divulging into what each case led into, because I mean, basically the headline and the accusation and the aftermath is what we're after, right? So the first one is FedEx is caught up in a $3 million lawsuit for hiring discrimination. Now, hiring discrimination includes discrimination of age, race, sexual orientation, sex, etc. And $3 million to settle this discrimination charge is relatively small, it seems like to me, considering it involves 21,635 workers of the package handling and FedEx Smart Health, I believe, out of Memphis, Tennessee, two subsidiaries of FedEx from Memphis, I'm sorry. And this is since 2004, so this has been building up for a while, involving 23 facilities in 15 states. They also violated executive file-keeping records, which means, I don't know if that means exactly that they hid the evidence or if they did not file the applications correctly, but either way, it's a very demanding job, FedEx is, because I currently actually work for FedEx in the mornings, and so it's like basically like a full-scale sprint running with hundreds of pounds all the time, you know. So it's an extremely demanding job, and there's only a few facilities, few positions in each facility that are lightweight, light-duty jobs. So the rest of it is, you know, you better be able to pick up 100 pounds and run with it. So I could understand if there was a handicap involved, but there's no excuse for age or race or sexual preference, because we have 50 and 60-year-old men that work up there with us, and they do their job perfectly fine. Now they do consider this when they place them. You know, they don't make them work in the sort tower and throw 2,000 and 3,000 packages an hour like, you know, like some of us get to. But this is quite a big lawsuit, and I'm sure it'll bring a lot of attention, especially after FedEx's stock has just spiked for 2 weeks straight or whatever it was. I was kind of hoping for a raise, you know what I mean? But it doesn't work like that, unfortunately, in the world. The second lawsuit is a Las Vegas man wins $1.8 million in an ageism lawsuit. He worked for Hoffman LaRoche. He was a pharmaceutical sales executive rep, I guess is what it was called. And this man had a perfect job record. He repeatedly, month after month, earned bonuses for performance. And once new management came in 2006, he was told that his approaches were old school, and he was repeatedly lectured about not being able to merge into their new environment and put on the stand and you know, I guess put in a corner or on the podium or whatever, on the fence or whatever you want to call it, about not being able to keep up. So I understand why he filed the lawsuit. There's nothing worse than a manager younger than you coming in trying to tell you how to do your job better, especially when you're probably sounds like one of the best that there is at the place to do the job. They told him he couldn't merge with the new environment, and once he approached the higher ups in the company about this, he says that they did not do a proper investigation, and he was met with unlawful retaliation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. That's a pretty severe accusation. That seems to lean toward They stalked him in his personal life, or they vandalized his car, or they harassed him in the bathroom or in his cubicle or whatnot. But there might be more lawsuits coming out of that. It sounds like there are probably certain workers that might get harassment or threats or slander or anything like that coming toward them. But he believes they violated the Federal Age Discrimination and Employment Act, which makes sense. The third article I did was on a Georgia woman employee who worked as a counselor for a private company. Now, the company had a contract for the Center of Disease Control Prevention to provide an employee assistance program for CDC employees. Well, she refused to counsel an employee seeking help. Well, this employee just happened to be lesbian or gay. It doesn't really say which. I don't suppose. The CDC asked the company to remove her as a contractor. She was then laid off and sued for religious discrimination. She claimed that as a devout Christian, she could not counsel someone of the same sexual preference. But she was also instructed to refer that employee, to a counselor that would assist her. Now, she did not do that. It's always in management's best issues to consider the alternatives and the outcomes. Now, the Las Vegas man, he considered the outcome. He was in a corner. He had mastered a job and was being pushed out by people who knew the job less efficiently than he did, apparently, because he was the one keeping the job, the place afloat as far as the bonuses. That's the way it looks, at least. And the Georgia woman, well, she knew what she had to do and she refused to do it. And she let religion get in the way. I mean, she was fired she sued for religious discrimination, but I mean, you have to make a choice, They told her what to do if something like that was in the way, which is what was going on, and she refused to do it. Now, FedEx's hiring discrimination, I could understand why they would have to pick and choose certain workers, because turnover rates, it costs a lot of money to train people, you know what I mean? That's money coming out of your pocket that's not helping toward your volume increasing or your numbers increasing or anything else. So it's costly to have a high turnover rate. That's why you want to be more appealing than fast food, I would suppose. But that also includes all types of discrimination, like I said before, including age, race, sexual preference, and sex. So all three of these are flagrant examples of discrimination and workplace issues that could potentially hinder moving forward in the business world. These are issues for management to consider. Thank you.